Hello, boys, girls, ladies, and gentlemen. Welcome to another broadcast brought to you by Shaft. I'm sure some of you guys have been wondering where I am. Oh, I've been around, been working on a new job and a couple of new projects for you guys. But guess what? That's enough about the future. Let's talk about today. Today we're actually going to be looking at quite a bit of interesting ZVP stuff. In particular, we're going to be looking at 3 matches, but 2 different sets of games. The first set of games is actually going to be a Southeast Asian, Australian mostly, match. It's a Grandmaster level clan war between Time of Rising, or TOR, versus the 9th Legion. The 2 players in particular are Pezz, Pezz, versus Savior. This is PVZ in that order. And it's actually going to be a really interesting game. The next 2 games, of course, are going to be actually Adelscott versus a Zerg I'm going to let you guys wonder about for a little bit. Okay, so while that sinks in, let's go ahead and get this game started here for you folks. Switch on over to the Shaft cam, and here goes. Alright, guys, so here on the top right hand corner of the screen, we have the pink Zergy McFerguson. I was talking about him earlier. His name is Savior. Of course, getting that name from the StarCraft II Brood War Pro by the same name. These are not the same person whatsoever. Just a fan. Alrighty then, and over here in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the purple Protoss buddy. His name is Pezz from Team Time of Rising. Now, I like Pezz's attitude here. Purple is better than pink. Okie dokie, okie dokie. So anyways, a little bit about the Southeast Asian group, or more particularly Pezz himself. He actually mentions on the SC2 SEA site, which I happen to frequent quite a bit, that he thinks infestors are terrifying. So the only option that a Protoss has are really timing attacks. If you try to get, too fancy with drops or whatnot, you have to get out in the middle of the map, kind of like here. But, if one good fungal goes off right in this area, boom, you're not moving, you get surrounded, you've lost your army. And if you're not holding this position, then drops are hard to hold off because of the towers, of course. Zerg has map presence, whatever. So he basically says, don't derp around for Mothership Archon or even carriers. Honestly, I think just about every Korean Protoss with good PVZ at the moment are doing 2 to 3 base timings, and I think that it is by far the superior way to play. Creator, Rain, Parting are top 3 PVC at the moment, and all do timings. Now that is a quote from SC2 SEA, so we'll have to see. Does Pezz's attitude here really come to play a role in this game? Or is Savior just going to roll through him with that classic Broodlord Infester Corruptor Deathball that we see so often from Zergs these days? Of course, we do have a pull first, then hatch build. No surprises here, no gas, of course, for Savior. Forge did come out, then the Nexus, then the Gateway. Got a nice little wall off here. Cannon, of course, to be safe. All of this super standard. We really won't know what Pezz is doing until that Cyber Core comes out, but that's completely expected. I like the timing on this third here for Savior. And, yeah, I mean, Savior just playing a really solid game here. So, yeah, I mean, there's really not too much to talk about here. IXL, TOR, really good teams from the Southeast Asian group. Not a lot of people follow the Southeast Asian group, but it is responsible for players, such as Moonblade, who, even rocked the GSL for a while there. So always good to be on the lookout for players from all the different regions. And of course, I just want to reiterate, both of these guys are Grandmaster level players, so this isn't just some ladder replay. This is, you know, a clan war of high quality. One thing I do want to note about Savior that I've seen in a lot of his games is, no matter the matchup, even in ZVP, when, you know, you think Banelings, not so good against force fields, he loves his Ling Baneling, and he makes it in the oddest ways. I'm actually going to make a point to illustrate that to you guys throughout the course of this game. He'll just make Lings at the oddest time, and he can do so much with them. He uses what I would call a medium-sized Ling army. After, you know, about 8-9 minutes into the game, he'll go ahead and make it. He'll use it to deny this third, and you know, apply pressure should the Protoss move out. He can use it defensively to defend this. Really good, you know, capabilities, I guess is the word I'm looking for, of having those Lings out. I don't know, maybe he won't favorite this game. There's no real telling. But we do see he's getting those 2 gas. So, you know, maybe he'll even be going into roaches. Who knows? 3 gas. Wow, okay. That's different. Of course, Pezz, he has got, you know, a robotics facility up and running. That's completely standard, looking like an immortal timing attack at +1 on the way. Really good stuff here by both players. Only the 7-minute mark, so all these timings looking super good. There's an extractor, there's an extractor, there's an extractor. I like that. 3 base, 3 extractors. Alright. Only thing I would criticize here of Savior is his Overlord spread. There's probably not really enough Overlords everywhere. And just realized something. For some reason, our skin is not showing up on the overlay. Let's go ahead and fix that. Sorry if the camera's not moving around very much. There we go. Much better. Awesome. Okay, so still looking like a 2-base timing here from our Protoss. We've got the 4th and 5th gas being taken. Here for the Zergy. Roaches, look like they may be a possibility, but we've got Ling upgrades coming. Alright, I can get down with that. Not too many spine crawlers here. Actually, no spine crawlers here by Savior. Interesting. There's the Baneling nest we were talking about. So, could it be like a roach Baneling? I don't know. Well, we're still pretty certain what's going on in the world of the Protoss. He's moving out with a couple of sentries, some Immortals, so on and so forth. Once we've got, you know, 2, 3, 4 more sentries, he'll probably go ahead and move out. Actually, moving out a little bit early here. Okay, cool. That is alright. Now, we do have a Ling army moving across the map. Nice. And, okay, so he's going right here to this third, like we were talking about, denying that third for any length of time, making it beneficial. But, here are the Banelings. And, of course, Savior, you know, he's applying all this harassment, but he's, like, completely ignoring the fact that Pezz is moving out onto the map. He is applying direct pressure to this third, going ahead and getting the pylon down. There's nothing Savior's going to be able to do to stop that. So we've got more cannons on the way. This is going to be crucial, but really bad shots on those 2 pylons. Now just got to get surrounded here on the other pylon. Uses even a couple of Banelings just in case. The rest of the Banelings are going to clean up some probes, take out the Cyber Core, and wow. Killing that Cyber Core is a huge deal. The only thing that can be made now is Zealots. So the only thing that reinforces attack, again, Zealots. So all he's got to do, build a whole bunch of spine crawlers here at the natural. Maybe, and he's got 10 meters on the way. I completely missed the spire. Holy crap. If you have Sentry Immortal against Mutalisks, you are dead. There's no economy here. The infrastructure of the Protoss is shot 23 workers ahead of the Protoss. Wow. so much ownage here in this battle. Savior showing how to wreck the Protoss in a completely unorthodox manner. Alrighty, guys. Now, we will be moving on to the next series of matches. But I do want to change a couple of settings there. I saw that we were lagging just a little bit. So let's drop down these settings a little. And life looks like it might be a little bit better now. Alright. Now, the next series of games are not originating from SEA, in fact. The next series, I don't know if you guys watched the American All-Star versus Korean All-Star series of games on GOM TV. If you haven't, it's free. Go fucking check it out. It's amazing. But on the first day, we did see Naniwa participating there. And there's like a magical transition where Naniwa's on day 1, Naniwa's not there day 2. Guess what? He's replaced by a Zerg player. That Zerg player is the little brother of Lucifron. He goes by the name of Vortix. And guess what? He will be starring in this next game on Daybreak, which I am very, very excited about. I love this map, but I have so much trouble with it in ZVP. So the very fact that I am going to get to cast this and study these games, oh, it makes me so, so happy. And, well, I guess I really should go ahead and start the replay, start the game. So let's switch this on over. And here we go. He is in the bottom left-hand corner. I've already done a little bit of an announcement, but he's the purple Zergy McFerguson. Seems like a winning color today. Who knows? We'll find out. It's Vortix! And over here in the top right-hand corner, we have the French player playing for the French team. Used to be teammates with Stephano, so you better have some pretty good PvZ. It's Millenium's Adelscott. Now, the thing about Adelscott that you've always got to keep in mind, first of all, he never really respects ramps. That one, or in this particular case, this one either, really. He builds his first buildings wherever the hell he wants to. He's not really known for his macro game, though he does occasionally go there in other matchups. He's been referred to as an all-in artist in this particular one, and I actually think that's pretty important building on today's theme, because, well, the first game we watched really talked about unorthodox play in Zerg and hitting this 2-base Immortal Sentry all in, just kind of giving you options to deal with. Well, Adelscott says, hey, Immortals take too long, I'm going to kill you with gateway units. In fact, that's another one of his nicknames is the Gateway Protoss. So we're going to see something different from him, I'm sure. Not seen this game, so not sure what it's going to be, but you can already tell from the opening that it's, you know, going to be different. It's already got a cyber core building 3 minutes into the game. This is some, you know, like beta style tactics here. Of course, Vortix, you know, he may be aware of Adelscott's reputation, but he is still playing standard. He's got that spawning pool on the way. He's got, or, well, finished now. He's got a hatchery on the way. He's using this Overlord to scout right on up here into the main, which is actually dangerous because of the cyber core. This probe looks like he will, well, actually, no. He's just going to go ahead and start building up this expansion. I thought he was going to go scout for a moment. We have a gas on the way. Nice reaction there to seeing Adelscott go for the cyber core. Yeah, so the game is panning out like your standard gateway first, even though gateway first isn't particularly standard. Vortix doing a little bit better job than our previous Zerg in putting out the Overlords, which of course is always refreshing to see. Even though Adelscott, of course, going for the cyber core a little bit earlier, he will be able to pick these off with Stalkers a little bit earlier, but, you know, whatever. Sacrificing an Overlord is worth it for certain information. Of course, I like Adelscott's little single zealot gateway harass. He knows most Zergs during this period, they don't like to have an army. So Zealot just runs in there, takes a couple of hits off the queen, runs away. He's not really going to lose anything. He's scouting, you know, for this third really well, but all he lost was a little bit of shields. He's going to keep that Zealot alive and deny that third for quite some time. Link speed is on the way. Now, even if Vortix goes and kills off that Zealot, and not even a single Zergling dies, damage has been done, as Vortix has been forced to make Zerglings. That's quite a few drones that won't have been made. So indirectly, damage will have been done. It's an amazing trade here for Adel. Of course, you know, it doesn't take too long. Alright. So we've got a couple of sentries, you know, guarding here like Rambo. These Zerglings just getting key information points on the map. I like this. You know, this is going to be a little bit of a slower game initially, but that's okay. We've got a layer on the way, so things will be picking up here in a couple of moments. Got 2 more gases just now completed. Gateways coming. That might just be for a better wall, but right now we do have 5 gates potentially. Yeah, 5 gate, lots of sentries, 6 sentries now. Ooh, good little Overlord Scout here. He wants to see, more or less, he wants to see how many gateways there are. He can see the front, now he can see inside the main, he can do the math. Is there a Stargate? Is there a Robo Bay? Is there a Twilight Council? No. Okay, so this must be in Gateway All In. Big surprise, it's Millenium Adel. So here we go. Here's the pylons coming forward. Heavy harassment. I don't know that you quite call this an all-in, but Adelscott is definitely applying pressure. Still no 30er by Vortix. I think Adelscott is as surprised by this as anybody else. But at this point, he can basically feel free to go home, as again, he's on even basis with Zerg. That kind of makes him ahead in, you know, a lot of circles. But you never really know. Take a look at his income tab. Yeah, I mean, these guys are about as dead even as you can expect to be in this matchup at this point in time. But Adelscott is going to go ahead and commit to this attack. He loses the sentry. He's basically going to get behind in this game. Sentries are taking a lot of damage, fading out a lot of the force field. This is going to be a little bit of a crazy battle. Oh, wow. Most of the sentries have died. There's no reason to commit to this. Adelscott is attacking even economy. So, losing these sentries, losing a lot of these units in battle. Yeah, so at this point, Adelscott has lost a lot of units. Just simply was not necessary, but of course he wants to get this killing blow. Vortex not going to fall for that. He's got a decent enough economy that he feels like he can just continue to, you know, make defensive units. As long as he stays alive, he's still focusing in the ending. And, well, that's turning out quite true. We've still got a fairly even drone count, but, yeah, way too many losses here by Vortex. Almost 800 resources difference here. Finally going to be going for that Robo Bay. I'm going to go and transition out of the pure gateway style. Infestors are going to be on the way. Double upgrades. Wow, those are some really late upgrades, but that's also a really late third. Yet it was worth it to stay alive against Adelscott. That was a really nice push by Adelscott. Most inferior Zergs would have, you know, crippled there, because they would have, you know, tried to squeeze out a couple more drones, because there's no reason for Adel to have tried to attack there. It was just a really wonky timing that he was hoping was going to catch Vortix off guard, and did not. So of course we've got pathogen lands on the way, but 1-1 on the way as well. Vortix looks like he's going to be favoring the heavy ling style that we've previously mentioned, which of course I can always get behind. Lings are like the best units in the game, besides Immortals. I must play too much. Who knows? So, nice little cluster of roaches here on the map. This is mostly just going to be to buy time if Adel does push out. Of course, Vortix only just now becoming aware of that. So now he's going to have to be super safe. Get ready to defend this third with his life, with his roach lives, that is. The Overlord, ooh, so valiantly, and flooding in Roachling and Fester. Vortix is probably going to stick around the economy that he is right this second. He's got a pretty decent lead on Adelscott, especially if Adelscott really good time to pro buff himself so that he just doesn't die. This is still a pretty scary time. In fact, there's not much there to defend the infestors. So if ever these roaches die, the infestors, as expensive as they are, will be vulnerable. Of course, ooh, now the sentries are vulnerable. Same thing is true to them. They are so expensive, so vulnerable when they're killed off. Nice force fields. But Vortix was able to pull away at the last second. Didn't get too greedy there, which, again, a lot of Zergs would have, and that would have cost them those units. And Adelscott just going home. A smart decision here. He really needs to get back in this game in some other kind of way. Vortix, of course, is getting into a position where he could apply some counter pressure if that's something he was interested in. We're going to have to see. Let's take a look at the base of the players here. Layer, not really worried about Hive Tech just yet. Not worried about 2-2. Just sticking around. I like this, though. You can definitely commit too much to tech or too much to economy sometimes and really skimp on your army. Vortix making sure not to do that. He is expanding, but that's also powering for Zerg, so that's completely cool too. Gonna go ahead and kill off this pile on his own. Getting that 2-2 now that we were discussing, and Adelscott with just such a small army here. This is not looking good for Adel. For itself. 400 APM in this minor battle, and he didn't even cast anything there. That's the crazy bit. Oh, 500 APM. This guy is a badass. What a nerd baller. Oh my. Okay, so let's see what this army intends to do here. Is Vortix just poking at his opponent, toying with him, saying, well, maybe... Oh, he's splitting up his troops. This is going to be a scary moment. Does Adel see this coming? Yeah, there's an observer there. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and get ready, but he doesn't know he's being sandwiched. He's spreading out in this nice little arc. Check this out. He was... Here, let's see if we can back up for this. Oh my god. Adelscott really getting in position here. Look at this beautiful, beautiful move. Okay, so let's discuss pre-game positioning. Initially, Adel is scared of being targeted from up here. So, should Vortix attack, his units are going to kind of run in like this, and then bad angle, and look at this concave here compared to this one here. It's obvious who's going to have the better positioning. Of course, Adelscott already has his units pre-clustered, reinforcements here. Beautiful spread here by Adel. Now, when Vortix sends some of his units here, this observer, of course, is going to allow him to go ahead and, here, watch this. Swing these units around. Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. Look at the beauty of this. Now, watch this. See, if Vortix had all of his army here, clustered through here, there's not really too many force fields. There's only like 3, 5, 6 sentries worth of force fields. So he's going to be able to hold off the initial wave and rely on his energy regenerating to hold the swarm back. So he's got basically 2 waves plus regeneration, is what we can say. 2 waves of force fields plus regeneration. Now with this coming up here, first, it's going to mess up this concave that Adel has, just spent so much time building. It wasn't that long, but in StarCraft, every action counts. So, not only that, but when this comes in first, it draws these units out of position. So then these are sandwiched here, and then these are just kind of off, isolated. Oh, it's beautiful. Watch this again. Watch this again. Come on, guys. This is set on a screen right here. Look at these positioning, and then force fields can't cover it. Force fields can't cover it. Ah! Zealots, Immortals. Oh my God! Now the best is here. If Vortix had only hit from one angle, or if he mistimed that in any way, Adel probably would have won that battle and thus the game. But Vortix crushing through like a boss. No wonder he's considered one of the 6th best players in the world at this present moment. What a god. And Adelscott, recognizing this, bows before his Imperial Majesty and says GG. Alrighty here, guys. So what we're gonna do now is move right on into this 3rd game, and this is again gonna be just one of the sickest games ever, of course, because it does feature, you know, these same 2 players. You guys like that game? Unorthodox completely. The Zerg just showing all the right moves, all the right tactics. Adelscott showing why he is the all-in artist, why he is you know, the Chancellor of Cheese. Oh my God, he's got so many nicknames. In any case, let's move right on in to this very next game. Here in the bottom left-hand side, actually a map I have a love-hate relationship with, Entombed Valley. It's the orange Protoss, Adelscott. And his opponent in the top left-hand corner, he's the purple Zergy McFerguson, Vortix. Now, I'm actually really excited about this game because Adelscott, he might win this. You know, if he wins this, this will go into game 3, best of 3. Oh, that'd be lovely. But I don't know. Vortix going, of course, for that 10 pull with gas. This is one of the most all-in builds you can do as a Zerg. Now, Adelscott is a player that is known for not guarding this ramp. Without guarding this ramp, well, a Zealot can be, if a Zealot's standing here, he can actually be attacked from all sides. So, Zergling armies are great. When there's a gateway here, a core here, Zealot can stand here. 1, maybe 2 lings can attack them at a time. Shields are there too, so he can kill, you know, 3 to 5 lings, depending on positioning. 1 or 2 lings, 3 to 5 lings. 1 or 2 lings, 3 to 5 lings. You do the math. Alright, so we do have that awesome metabolic boost on the way. Gas pulled just as soon as that happens. Gonna have to compensate for that economy somehow, and he obviously wants to have minerals, of course, to make lings. So we've got these lings traveling right on across the map. And now, of course, Vortix does know where the opponent is. Adelscott, of course, knows where his opponent is as well from the positioning of that Overlord. And both players are just going to be settling up for the next few stages of the game. Of course, Adelscott has no idea that that might be a 10 pull with gas. No scouting, no nothing. Of course, we have heard of the Adel Scout, which is basically not scouting until it's time for your timing attack. Might bite him in the ass. Adelscott's complete style here being countered by Vortix. You know, the Adel Scout, so many different things going bad here for Adel. But you know what? He might be able to hold this. You know, he wouldn't do it if it was as bad as we think it is. Maybe. I don't know. He's French. You can never be sure. Okay, so we've got 10 lings in production here for purple. Force field, good force field, good force field. That was a perfect force field, but of course this pylon is going to get targeted down. Adel was in a position to go ahead and expand. This is going to make him very, very vulnerable. There's no more energy for force fields, and so much surface area here. He's going to be forced to defend with probes. Now there is a good surround here from the probes, so it looks like most of the lings will get killed off. A little bit sloppy there by Vortix, but it is going to be useful to take a look at the economy. Actually, screw the economy, because there's more lings in your base. Adel, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when the lings come for you? Okay, enough of the cheesy pop music. Trying to get a good surround here on these lings, but too many probes are dying. Even their shields really not going to be enough to get him back into this game. They're still really, really weak. He hasn't lost too many. I wonder, hold on. Let's take a look at the income. Alright, still 9 turns ahead, actually. So Adelscott not in too bad of a position, but he's got to be really careful to keep the army he does have alive. Don't get it surrounded. Use his surface area. See, he's kind of choked back here with the surface area rather than here. But there's still a little bit of room back here, and the probes are exposed to. Forced to defend with them again. Oh my gosh, that's actually leaving Vortix plenty of room to go ahead and get ahead. And drones finally only one up. I have to go long. So, I would still say Adel is economically in the lead, but there's no real hopes of getting rid of these lings anytime soon. Oh my god, these guys are so annoying. Vortix doing a really good job with these lings. And let's see, what is he doing? Going ahead and expanding. Oh, I love this play. Still hasn't taken it, put anyone back on gas here. So it looks like, yeah, 12 more lings on the way. So even though Vortix has 5 zealots and 2 sentries, we're still seeing more zerglings getting pumped out of here by Vortix. I don't know if that's the best decision in the world. It might be giving Adelscott the ability to get back into this game, but of course Adelscott making a very risky move, dropping that Nexus that may or may not come back to bite him in the ass as these lings flood right on in. Of course, these lings could not fight those zealots in straight up battle, but they're not going to have to. They have a lot of speed, and they can just go ahead and target that first cancer. Go ahead and kill the sentries as well. Wow, that's going to set Adelscott back to the Stone Ages. Only 1 sentry was killed, so lucky there for Adel, but there's not much energy left, so he's just going to wait for these 4 shields to run out, and still making, well, he had some wings reinforcing AS, now he's making drones, that's good. So, okay, I like Vortix's position, but I still think economically he might be hurting. Let's see. Alright, so we've got the beginnings of a wall-off. I'm actually really scared here for our Zerg. We've got the Protoss now ahead in Harvesters again. I'm beginning to take his natural. Wow, Adelscott maybe be taking this to a game 3. 2 spine crawlers are on the way. Vortix trying to be super defensive, but it may or may not work to his advantage. It's hard to be sure at this moment. Still no forge by Adel, and still no cannons, of course, as a result. Wow. Alright, so knocking these rocks down, I think Adel might actually be planning to take a third, maybe doing some of that economic cheese. But of course, Vortix, he can actually see these rocks going down, and wow, Adelscott cannot see the wings either. This is kind of a visionless game for both players, I suppose. I do like the spotters out here for pylons. This is going to force really far warp-in times for Adel, you know, from here, which is about the same distance as here, so what's the point? Alright, now we've got extractors being made again for Vortix, so everything's going out well. Maybe should extend some creep here. Now, ooh, this is looking like it's going to be a huge battle. Again, Adelscott with some weird timing. You know, lots of stalkers, lots of sentries, lots of zealots. He's on creep, so you know his opponent sees it's coming. Spine crawlers being made. He's still attacking into this. What? I don't get this. He is trying on. Oh my god. Okay, so those wings in the base, those wings that we were just waiting for right here. That's where the Adelscott's like ... for. Moves out of this really weird timing, leaves himself exposed. What the hell just happened? Oh, Adel got murked right there. I mean, let's face it. The 11 pull really exposed him, so Adelscott thought he was behind. In fact, Adelscott was ahead. He was forced into a position where he thought he had to attack. Of course, he always thinks he has to attack. And Adel, what were you thinking? So let's go back to what Savior showed us in the first game. Ling Baneling works really well. His opponent, Pezz, I'll go back and paraphrase, says harass doesn't work well as a Protoss because you need map presence while doing it. Drops so you can harass in multiple locations at some point at once. One fungal can mean the end. Well, the same thing. Well, we saw, Pezz kind of prove that true in the first game, but even the style he proposed didn't work too well. Adel shows here that harassing, it's okay, but you still have to establish map control first. The fact is that without map control, without having the Selnaga Tower, without having something spotting over here where the lings are hiding, he exposed himself to this ling attack. And what I find most interesting is he knocked down these rocks before doing it. The lings, of course, just run right on by here, kill off the zealot, not a perfect wall. A sentry gets warped in, another zealot. But you know what? The damage is already done. The lings are already in the base. Not a perfect wall off. Adel is not as safe as he maybe hoped to be. So yeah, I can see that Adel kind of got unlucky there, but still, Vortix timing is actually really good. You gotta look at it from that point of view. Anyways, guys, I am happy that y'all tuned in today. We did have a little bit of a theme cast going on, but really awesome games from all of these players. I really encourage people to check out the SEA community, as they do produce some amazing games. Shout outs, of course, to Adelscott, a French player, Vortix. I believe he's Polish, if I remember right. I don't know. He's a little brother to Luciferon. So, yeah, shout outs to all those great players. My ass is actually heading to bed. It's like 2 p.m. here, but I haven't slept in quite a long time. So, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I will see you next time. Deuces!